Good afternoon, adventurers. Thanks for joining in. I am finally headed back home, although only for a short time. What was supposed to be a day of writing and recording and having a good day, jolly time, turned into emergency pet relocation and vet visit. And what I'm talking about is Amor, Brainy Chameleon's chameleon. Her panther chameleon, Amor, has been having issues for the past week, not being able to open his eyes, not really opening his eyes and looking for food or anything. She's been having to put the food in front of him so that he eats, which is not ideal by no means at all. The vet originally thought it might be a vitamin A deficiency, so we purchased vitamin A supplements to go on his food. So we've been feeding him little treats, which are superworms. He loves his superworms. We've been feeding him those, basically peppered with vitamin A for the past week. And today being Friday, the vet not being open over the weekend, we realized that we needed to get him up to the vet now, while we still could. So over the weekend, he didn't have any issues. He didn't die over the weekend or be malnourished or thirst or anything like that. We didn't want him to suffer over the weekend because the school's closed on the weekend. So we made a quick decision. Mala called me while I was doing some chores. I went to where'd I go? Lowe's. I went to Lowe's and to Walmart. I hate going to Walmart. Not a real big fan of going to Lowe's either, but there I went. And I was getting stuff that we need, not only for the yard, trying to treat the weeds and kill all the insects that may be getting on our puppies, because, you know, we love our dogs around our house. She called me while I was there buying all that kind of stuff and said it was an emergency. He needed to go to the vet because he wasn't opening his eyes. Didn't open his eyes all day. So I stopped everything I was doing. Luckily, Catastrophic was just getting out of school, so I had him swing by, get the Jeep, and meet me at Lowe's so I could get everything in the Jeep and we can go. And then, of course, I picked up Amor from the school and then drove all the way to Warner Robins to Critter Fixer, I think is the name of it. It's an exotic vet in Warner Robins, and that's who we took him to the past couple times, and that's who he needed to go back to today. So I took him from the school up here in Milledgeville all the way to Warner Robins, and then had to turn right back around to come back because Mala, aka Brainy Chameleon, needed the Jeep to get back home. She does not know how to ride the ST or any standard transmission bike. She can only ride her DCT. So I had to get the Jeep back up here to her so that she could get home. Well, as I was pulling into the school and coming in to see her, she was on the phone with the vet saying that they needed to sedate him, to get into his eyes, to get whatever it is that is in there out, so that he can begin to heal, and he would need to be under observation over the weekend. However, they don't offer observation. He would have to be returned home into his enclosure. Well, the problem is his enclosure is still at the school. Was still at the school. It turned from just me returning the Jeep from my trip and letting Mala get in it and me getting back on the bike and going recording to, all right, now we have to load all of Amor's enclosure, the stuff that goes with the enclosure, the water pump, the water reservoir, the lights, the hanging brackets and everything for the lights. We had to take down his entire enclosure and pack it in the Jeep to get it home this afternoon so Amor can come home. Now, Mala is already ahead of me in the Jeep, way ahead of me, I hope. She's gonna get home and start unpacking the enclosure. Of course, when I get there, it'll speed up the process. And then I have to jump in the Jeep immediately and go back to Warner Robins to make sure I'm there to pick up Amor from the vet. So a lot of going back and forth for me today, apparently, which is fine. In the account of it helps out my brainy chameleon, my mala, so I'm willing to do it, and it's not going to cause me that much frustration. I just got to drive more. I mean, I don't like driving, but it'll be all right. This trip back home, however, is giving me a chance to get on here and finally record. What I did this morning is I went over to Mom's house, and I knew I'd be riding around, or thought I'd be riding around this afternoon, so I was going to record later, which is now apparently. I had to go to Mom's house and do some stuff for her. They had a leaky outdoor faucet, needed some heavy things moved around, and what else was I doing? Helping her get her aquarium outside and get it drained, or drained and then outside, not the previous before the prior, or the prior. I don't know how you would need to say it. It's been a long day so far, y'all. So bear with me on that. Where was I? Oh yeah, I had to get her aquarium outside so she can clean it, and it's in the process of being cleaned. It's going to soak in bleach water for next couple days, and then sometime next week she's going to call me and say, hey, all right, need you to come back over and bring the aquarium back in. So next week I will be returning to do that. But that's the kind of stuff you do for your parents, because they did so much more for you as you're growing up. So you do what they need done and smile about doing it. At least that's the way I see it. Now, I do have some events I am posting up in this video. Some of them are coming from my man Shep down in Florida, ones that he shared, so I'm doing the same and sharing it for him on my platform, of course. I did not have a chance to look at them and memorize the dates and times and all the locations, so please take a few moments to browse over this flyer as I continue talking about, hey buddy, I see you, please stay where you're at. Thank you. Really, really. Thank you for that, man. Woo. This is a bad spot for bikers for sure, because we have such a low profile as it is. Coming over these blind hills as people are coming out in traffic that's going 75 miles an hour on a typical basis. Yeah, this is not good for us, but I appreciate him actually stopping, taking the time to look. There's a lot more bikers out on the bypass here lately. I don't know when the next Thunder Rally event is in Milledgeville. I don't advertise that event, so don't look for a flyer on that. But that brings in a lot more bikers from outside our area. So the locals tend to be a little more observant during this time, which is good for me, because honestly, the other times when there's not 20 to 30 more bikes traveling through the town on a regular basis, I kind of go invisible. But on one of my rides today, my return trip from Milledgeville, or not Milledgeville, from Walmart, because everyone loves Walmart, I happened to come up on my buddy, my not second dad, but definitely a father figure to me, Butch McGahee. Ran into him. He was driving from, I'm saying a lot, and he was driving back from Walmart, heading back home, and he was at the stop light there at the intersection, so I was able to creep up beside him and kind of say, hey, how you doing, I love you, and hold his hand for just a second, and then I got out and took off. Of course, he let me out, and the cars behind him probably weren't real happy about it, but, you know, I saw him, and I wasn't going to miss the opportunity to talk to him. Just like last time I stopped by his house while he was out working at the shop, I saw him, so I had to talk to him. He is a wealth of knowledge. If anyone can ever sit down and have a conversation with him, the amount of stuff he can tell you, it's like watching Shade Tree Surgeon's videos when he has Joe the Mountain Jedi on. The amount of information, and they, to me, they almost look alike, because they're the same personality to me. They're miles and miles deep of information, and they're so willing to share it if you just ask and be willing to sit and listen and take it in. I really appreciate what Shade Tree is doing to get the Mountain Jedi out on content on a platform where people can, no, we're going 75 cruise control. There you go. That's where I want you, right there. Getting that knowledge out there, because just like they said, once he's gone, that knowledge is gone. His little tips, his little tricks to get around certain situations on how to do certain things for yourself that might save you a couple bucks. I mean, you can actually keep riding and go somewhere, do something, instead of spend money trying to get your bike capable of doing something. That kind of information going out to all of us other riders is very useful. So I have to show love to Butch, and of course all the McGahees, really, when I see them, because of all they've done for me and all the knowledge I've gained from them. I'm going to end this video right here because I'm tired of talking and I don't have the one drink. Well, actually, I don't have any drinks. They're in the Jeep. So I'm going to shut up. Go support my friends Forgotten Angels. Come see me and my son Catastrophic in the Iron Legacy chapter of Tifton, Georgia on May 18th to help celebrate my Catastrophic graduating and going off to the Marines. Apparently he's going to Camp Lejeune. He put a magnet on the fridge that said so, so I think that was a hint for me to pay attention and know where he's actually going. My bad, kid. Sorry about that. But come see us on May 18th for the Iron Legacy Dream Ride. All right, y'all.